residents. Previously, our over 50s forum members could access the £7.50 concessionary rate plus £11. So that was about £18.50 a year. This was incredibly good value, but it was also subsidised heavily by us and by the leisure provider. The new leisure provider, GLL, who have taken over some really run-down leisure centres by the previous provider, such as Edmonton, which had lots of health and safety issues, Southbury, and our other centres, they've had to review their pricing, and they've got to put their pricing in accordance with what they do in other boroughs, such as Waltham Forest. They've also informed us that their policy is in line with the national policy government retiring age threshold, which is over 66. We've gone back to them, we've had a back and forth, and I can confirm that the new concessionary rate for over 66 residents is £20.50 a year. So it's a small increase from the £18.50. And for those aged over 50, I believe it's £21 a year. I also want to highlight that what we're doing beyond leisure centres to help those over 50 and residents who are older to stay active and healthy. I'm happy to confirm that we accommodate over 19 outdoor gyms. We've built over 19 outdoor gyms. I've done the maths. I think that's about 0.5% of all outdoor gyms in England, which is a really good number compared to our neighbouring boroughs and like for like similar sized boroughs across London. We have a very high number of outdoor gyms. We also have an active Enfield program, which a lot of you would know about. We pay for yoga classes, we pay for croquet, Zumba, Nordic walking, dance, tennis, Pilates, and these are things that we should be doing as a local authority. Our new government speaks heavily about prevention, preventing people from getting ill in early age and relying on a social care bed or an NHS bed. So these are the sorts of things that we need to do to support each other as a local authority, as the NHS, as our public health partners, to make sure that we're preventing serious health issues in the future. We currently run over 40 different classes as such, and they're tailored to older adults. Turning to the council's finances, which I know a lot of you follow closely, I just want to make a few points, and I'm happy to take any questions later. As you all know, we've had to deal with over a decade of government cuts. In real terms, over 60% of our budget has been cut since 2010. In addition to that, the impact of COVID, Brexit, the crashed economy, and skyrocketing inflation and costs, which have impacted us, as well as other sectors, such as the leisure sector. This hasn't been easy. It's required us to make difficult decisions, and it's required us to be disciplined with our resources and our financial management. Thankfully, we have time and time again balanced the books. We've had to make tough choices and tough decisions. I'm thinking about some of the libraries that we've had to close to save on the capital maintenance. And also, we have benefited from a small exceptional government support grant, the smallest compared to what other boroughs have received from the government. This is a short-term fix, I have to emphasise, and this will help us build our financial reserves. Thankfully, also, we borrowed at low interest rates before the economy was crashed. Some political parties in Enfield advised us not to borrow, but thankfully we did, because we borrow to invest. Our debt pays for homes, our debt pays for road maintenance, it pays for our parks maintenance. I want to give you an example. A resident of ours who I had the pleasure of meeting, her name is Tina, she's from Edmonton. She's a young resident who has been able to secure a one-bed flat in our new development, Meridian Water. Tina was also able to find a job through our careers services, and that's again our support as the council. And we also built her a train station on her doorstep, Meridian Water train station, so she can get to work. So this is what our debt pays for. This is what borrowing pays for. Most of our debt, if I'm not mistaken, over 90% of our debt as a council is long-term. So I like to think of it as a mortgage. you borrow to invest. And that's been our slogan to tackle some of these financial issues. And speaking of investments, we invest over 40 million a year to keep streets cleaner. We also invest 10 million a year to keep our parks and open spaces clean. We're very lucky to have beautiful parks and open spaces. But what we've been asked to do is we've been asked to do more with less. Our funding has been cut, our population has increased, our demands have increased. But I'm committed to create a cleaner Enfield, a cleaner and a safer Enfield. Our priorities are in the right place. Cleaner, safer Enfield, cleaner, safer streets. We're looking at rolling out community skips. We're looking at rolling out more enforcement to tackle those who dump rubbish illegally on our streets. We're also organising a high number of volunteer litter picks. We also offer free bulky waste collection services, something that other boroughs unfortunately cannot do. We've had to protect that. We also have 2 good recycling centres in the borough. One is brand new in Edmonton at the Eco Park, and the second one is Barrowell Green, which we've kept open despite financial cuts. I also want to briefly touch on transport and safety issues, 2 priorities I know matter to this forum and to me. We've heard loud and clear that pavement parking is a major issue. I know it's an issue for you and it's an issue for me. I push a pram around when I'm not working here. I've got a 3-year-old and a 9-month-old. When people park on pavements, it impacts me, it impacts my children, and we shouldn't be forced to walk on the road where there's high traffic or cyclists for inconsiderate people who park on our pavements. One of the first questions I asked when I became leader was how many enforcement officers do we have on our roads? I was not happy with the answer. Thankfully, we've now got 16 more enforcement officers. Yesterday, when I had the pleasure of reopening Edmonton Leisure Centre on Edmonton 4th Street, I bumped into 2 of our new enforcement officers. They were eager, they were happy, and they're getting on with the job. Unfortunately, the previous government changed the rule on how we can use pictures to fine people. We can't use CCTV pictures anymore to give out fines to those who park on pavements. This was a change in law that happened about 3 years ago. We're lobbying hard with other London boroughs to change that law again, to allow us to use CCTV images to penalise people who park inconsiderately and illegally. Penalty charges have also gone up to the maximum amount to show that we're not messing around and to show that we're serious about this issue. When it comes to safer Enfield is a priority for me. I'm raising 2 kids in the borough. I've lived in Edmonton my whole life, and I am stubborn about making sure we have a safer Edmonton, most importantly, a safer Enfield, a safer borough. We've installed over 180 CCTV units and about 20 mobile CCTV units since 2022. But I know it's not just about CCTV, it's also about action. We're working with the police, we're working on a very important operation called Operation Pisces. It's a joint operation between the police and the council and our other partners. Over about 7 months, we've arrested over 600 criminals in the Upper Edmonton and Edmonton Green Ward areas. And this is what Pisces has been focused on. When I say criminals, I'm not talking about people who just commit antisocial behaviour here and there, and even that is unacceptable. I'm talking about drug dealers, I'm talking about people who exploit women and people who exploit workers, people who are involved in modern slavery. I'm very happy with the action we've taken, but it's 3 steps. It's clear, hold, build. Clear stage was the arrests we've made and the orders we've put in place to make sure those who don't live in that area, who are committing crime, are not allowed to come back. Hold is the second stage. Hold is where the council comes and works with the police, and we're doing that successfully. Build is the third stage, and that's where we're going to rebuild and regenerate the area, making sure that it's inclusive, it's stronger, and it's fairer. I'm committed to Operation Pisces, and we're very lucky that we've been recognised for the good work we've done as Enfield Council with the police. We've spoken to other London boroughs, and they've asked us for advice on how to tackle some of these serious issues. I won't keep you long, I'm sorry, I really don't want to bore you, and I promise I'm here to listen. I've just got a few more points that I want to touch on. Women's Safety Charter is also very important, and we have delivered this. We're also working very closely with our youth groups and our community voluntary groups, especially a group called NYCC. NYCC, working with us, go around and do weapons amnesties. They speak to the parents, the carers of the kids, who can buy knives on Amazon for less than £5, sold as costumes. And we've also lobbied the government. We're working with our government ministers, the new ministers who are committed to action. They've immediately banned zombie knives, and they've banned knife sales online, which is exactly what we asked for. There's only so much we can do on the ground. If a young person can buy a knife on Amazon for £5, the law has to change and things have to be stricter, and it has to be harder to have access to those sorts of weapons easily. So working with NYCC and working with some celebrities like Idris Elba, who also focuses on tackling knife crime, I believe we're leading the way, and I believe we're a role model for tackling some of these serious youth violence issues. We also continue to fund good youth centres, and we've actually built brand new 5 family hubs. Family hubs provide services from cradle to grave. So if you're a mother who wants to learn about breastfeeding and get a course on it or some support, you can go to our family hubs. There's 5 across the borough. If you're an elderly person who's looking for new activities to be social, you can go to our family hubs. If you're a young person who wants to learn how to be a mechanic, go to our family hub. Or if you want to learn boxing, you go to our family hub. So there's services and activities for everyone and anyone at our family hubs, and I'm so happy that we've been able to deliver that. I finally want to touch on the local plan, which will help us protect our open spaces, improve public access to nature, and most importantly, respond to the housing crisis. The housing crisis has impacted us more severely than I would say other areas. It's really important that we build the homes that we need, so young people, those who can't get a mortgage, those who need family-sized affordable homes, are able to get on the property ladder, instead of constantly building in already built up dense areas like the east of the borough. I know there are concerns raised, I share those concerns, but looking at the plan as a big picture plan and making sure that we cater to the needs of all of our residents, we've got to build homes. We have, I say with sadness, we've got over 7 golf courses in the borough. It's too many golf courses when we've got people waiting for family-sized homes. Again, we've got garden centres which are beautiful, and I take my grandparents there for a nice day out, and I take my toddlers there as well. But to have those spaces and not be serious about maybe building some homes on the car parks and the grey belt that exists there would be a mistake. I want to say finally, I know these are challenging times. Every time a certain president across the Atlantic opens his mouth, the economy does this. And unfortunately, our new government continues to face financial challenges, as do we. These are times where we've got to be more disciplined with our spending, we've got to be more disciplined with how we do things, but we can never forget why we're here and forget what our priorities are, which are cleaner, safer, stronger Enfield. Thank you for listening to me. Really eager to listen to your questions, and I'll hand back over to
Thank you, Elvin.